Good Monday morning, Sonor family. Hope you had a great weekend. I most certainly did. Enjoyed another long day at the fair. I'm going to tell you a little bit about a couple of drummers I saw. But first, we're going to talk about the upcoming changes to Sonor. They have pretty much dropped hints that I think your average intelligence person would take as a hint that there's going to be a new series of drums. They've shown a new badge that appears, in my opinion, to have gold mallets. It is not one of the 150th anniversary badges. It looks like the ProLite and SQ1 badge, but you can't read the model number or the model name, I guess. The series name. Let's try that. Other than the fact it sits kind of long, but so what does that mean? Well, if we take a look at things, the Pro Lights were issued in 2012, and apparently somewhere lost along the way, they've lost a lot of momentum because they haven't even been available in the States for a while, other than snare drums. And I was told by a reliable source a couple of years ago that those were being phased out, and yet we're still seeing them. So to me, the Pro Lights being the most aged lineup, obviously, other than the SQ2s. I think, coupled with the fact that they're not even available here in the States anymore, I think that's a pretty good indication we're probably going to see something replace that. The finish in the pictures looks really sharp too. As best as I can tell, it's fuzzed out a little bit, so we can't see too much. But I'm looking forward to that. Some other things that I speculate could be different. With the SQ1 line, that's the newest line being released about 8 years ago. But I don't see the excitement and use of that line like I would say the vintage with a lot of the Sonor artists. Steve Smith is touring with Vital Information when he goes out with them. He's using vintage. A lot of drummers that I've interviewed are using vintage series drums, and I think they've still got the mojo, the momentum, whatever you want to call it. And we may see some new finishes, but I would be surprised if we see these the vintage series go away. I don't think they've run their course yet. I think there's really strong sales on that, and you see a lot of guys with them. SQ1s, those are the newest of the catalog German made stuff. They also have the most specialized finishes. Um, I've had a couple of sets and enjoyed them very much. Are they the finishes that I would have really loved? No, it was just kind of having to put up with what the options were. If there'd have been wood grain finishes, I'd have certainly gone for that. And I don't speak for everybody. I'm sure there's people that really enjoy the matte or whatever you want to call the finish that they're using, that replicate old car colors. And the golden brown was certainly a much classier finish in person than it was looking at it online or in pictures. I had a lot of people comment about that, and same with the cruiser blue. The cruiser blue looks a lot better in person than it did online as well. The only reason I got that particular set was because I got it at a really good deal, and it had a lot more stuff than I had planned to use. So I got to spend some of it off and make some of my money back on that, and then I eventually sold it. So I think I came out okay all the way around. It was not a new set when I bought it, but at any rate, so kind of wrapping that part of this up, I really don't look to see anything change with the vintage series other than potentially adding some colors. SQ1s, just based on what I know and all that, I'm not. I wouldn't take my knowledge of what I see online and all that and assume they're going away. But I think maybe if nothing else, it's time for some new finish options. We'll just see if any of that happens. Other than that, I have a feeling we're going to see some new artists signature snare drums, be it at the drum show Saturday or later in the year, early next year, whatever. I really believe we got some new stuff coming down the pike on that. Also, the 600 series hardware has been around for quite a while, and if you look at the offerings and the difficulty of availability, you can't reliably just order parts, or I say parts, components of the basic ARM system or the 600 series. This stuff's out of stock a lot of the components especially. So, I would hope they come up with something that's a little bit more manageable. And I'm speaking in the United States. I don't know what distribution around the world's looking like on these other items, but I really look to see hardware revamped soon. Not necessarily now, but soon. Pedals and hi hats. I think there is a lot of room for. I don't want to use the word improvement, but I think they could appeal to a lot wider range of drummers with an update to those. I don't have any particular knowledge that that's going to happen. I kind of putting two and two together, think it's coming. If not now, pretty soon. And what else? I guess that's pretty much it on that front. What else have I got going on? Interviews. Got an Aaron Holder interview that I'm sitting on. It's in post production. Symbol Fusion is going to be the sponsor on that. Aaron mentioned Symbol Fusion several times. He had done some videos for them. Seems to have a strong relationship with Symbol Fusion, and I know a lot of people personally that have done business with them and really have nothing bad to say about Symbol Fusion at all. And I know that they have a lot of things that are unique and all that on Reverb and their website. They've got the gold sparkle, gold glitter, whatever it is. My apologies for not having that. I hadn't planned on mentioning that, but since we're here, here we go. But anyway, they got some pretty cool things going on, and real strong dealers for the Sonor brand. So working on getting things sorted out with the advertising in the Aaron Holder interview and getting all that sewn up and getting approvals from both Aaron and from Eric at Symbol Fusion. Once all that's done and published, then I'm going to take another whack at this Near Z uh, interview. Hopefully, Symbol Fusion will want to be on board for some further sponsorships. So, if you're seeing and hearing this, or if you see any of the Symbol Fusion sponsor ads in things as we go, if you don't mind when you do business or communicate with them, just let them know you've seen my stuff. You don't have to, if I'm not the reason you're going to shop from them, I'm not asking you to make anything up. What I am saying though is if you do talk to them and you've seen this stuff, let them know that you saw it. That way they at least know they're getting some good exposure, and that helps everybody involved. So what else we got here? Let me run through a few things. Forum traffic's been a little slow, but things come in spurts. I've had days where we didn't have anything for a day or two, and then we have a lot of traffic, so I'm not real worried about that. But if you haven't gone and checked it out, you really should do that. I went to the fair 3 times this year. It's about a 70 or so minute drive from where I'm at, but I love it. And this year, for the first time, I really sat down and watched some bands. So this is a tale of three drummers. It was going to be a tale of two drummers, which makes a hell of a lot more sense. But we added another drummer to the mix yesterday. So late last week, I I sat there eating after I ate and was watching the first band come up of the day that I saw. There's another band before that, but the drummer was an older gentleman, mature age, I'll say it that way, gray hair, that sort of thing. And he sat down and he played some tight rudiments on the hi hat. And I sat there and I'm overly judgmental. I will admit that is a huge fault of mine that I am working on day to day. But I'm sitting thinking, okay, well, here's a pretentious guy we'll see how this goes. And the band was very good, and the drummer was actually excellent. He was just doing his warm up thing, and here I am jumping to conclusions and wanting to read things into it. And I spoke with him after their second show, and they had an absolutely phenomenal set list. Execution was great, and the whole bit. There was some old Chicago, Steely Dan, some old soul type stuff, and R&B, and just old classics and all that. And it was really refreshing. The drummer, he may not have been playing parts verbatim. He seemed like he was doing maybe a little bit more than you would have listened to on an 8 track back when. But you know what? It really fit. Everything he did really fit the song, the music, the whole band thing they had going on. There was, it wasn't like he was busy because there was something missing. He wasn't running over anything. I enjoyed it very much. And in talking to him, found out that he actually years ago had a Sonor set. It was a phonic, and he told me the color is blue, some blue, I believe. But he's an Atlanta-based guy, and anyway, really enjoyed that connection. The other drummer of the day that stood out was a guy. He might have been a few years younger than the other one. This guy was playing for himself. He was playing as if the entire crowd had showed up to watch him and his chops. And he had a good rhythm, good tempo, steady tempos and all that good stuff. But he embellished over the top on things that just did not make sense. And that to me, that's a turn off. And that's just something I've always tried to stay away from. If anything, I'm probably too conservative in my playing, but you know what? I've never had anybody complain about that. So, but I did watch him for a while, and I just, kind of a what not to do sort of viewing there. And then yesterday there was a band that came out, and their name was like a 4 word name that was a combination of several bands. Great White Shark, something I forget what it is. Anyway, I'm not even going to try to remember right now. But oddly, the drummer had a soft touch. The kick drum was rock solid. I don't know if that's because he was really laying that foot in there or because the sound guy was able to crank that up without having problems. But the rest of the stuff, for the most part, was really low in the mix. Snare drum, particularly, and for a heavy metal hair band, cover band, I thought that was really odd that the drummer was scared to hit the snare drum. Now I'm speculating here. I don't know what his deal was, but he was not digging into that snare drum at all, and I found that really weird. But anyway, I still enjoy things. Even yeah, I'm the kind of guy that even if I go somewhere and have a bad meal, I still enjoy the experience. Everything can't be a winner. Same thing with uh, with taste in musicianship. There's people that would have probably enjoyed the hair metal drummer more than he enjoyed or more than they enjoyed the drummer I liked so much. We've just luckily we're not all the same, and we all have our different thoughts and opinions. So, pretty fun week there. Um, let's see. I got some things to get hammered out this week. I really want to get focused on extraneous content, which I've kind of slacked on lately. Uh, Going to turn that back around. Going to get back into the kid of the week thing soon. Uh, Really still want to do that comparison video for the original and the 150th HLD 590 drums. So if you have those and haven't let me know yet that you would be interested in doing that, please do let me know. If you know somebody who has both, let me know how to get in touch with them or get them to get in touch with me. And we can go at this a number of ways, whether or not they want to be, have their face in the final product or whatever. It's up to them. Looking for interview ideas. I've got two in post. Like I say, one I've been sitting on a while. Uh, was waiting on him, waiting on Nearer there for a little bit, but now I'm waiting on me and getting this stuff hammered out with Simple Fusion. Anyway, guys, hope it's going to be a great week. I'm really excited. Saturday's going to be great. I don't know what time. I got to look at see what the time differences are from here to UK. I might be up early that morning, or then again, I might sleep in depending on which way that time goes. But at any rate, let's have a good week. And if I don't have anything come up between now and the UK drum video speculation video or UK drum show speculation video, I will talk to you Friday morning. See you soon.